I just wanted, I know this is last minute, guys, but I had a few quiet minutes I knew I would have at this time of day to kind of check in and give anybody who needed a pep talk, a quick check in. We're going into another Shabbos, followed by another 2-day Chag, depending on where in the world you are. And let's talk about what do you want to set your intention? What do you want to focus on most? Or question you have. So Nama, what's going on with you?
So I am feeling really good about just being able to, I think that a lot of things we've talked about have helped me get through Chag. And I'm feeling really good about all of the things I've learned and being able to implement.
Yay. That's so exciting to hear. So when you're kind of thinking about Chag and what you need to do today, Erev Shabbat, and then, we have like a half day Sunday, and then, oh, good. And here's Sabrina. And then Chag again. What is the most important thing you want to focus on?
So I think like one of the things that I've been focusing on, and I think that's really been helping me, I think I've mentioned this before, was the delay. Like delaying, okay, I really want to, even like little things, like I've gotten myself those chocolate pops, just chocolate lollipops, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna delay taking one, and I think that that's really been helping me. Also just filling, plating, which is much more, it's much easier for me to do the plate it over Chag than even during regular, during like a regular week, because I have so much more food prep, like everything is prepared, and I'm not worried about so much like, okay, how am I going to do the plate it if I'm, and I'm always in a rush, and like now I'm like a lot less busy, I'm in the kitchen all day long, so there's so much more food around that's healthy and that I could plate it with. Like last night I made pizza and fries and salmon and soup and broccoli. So I took my salmon and my broccoli. There was plenty there for everybody else. I didn't even look at the pizza, even though I know like everybody wanted pizza, so I put it on the menu. And I made it myself, and I made it healthy, but it wasn't something I needed. I had my salmon and I had my broccoli.
Yeah, and it was delicious salmon. I'm sure it wasn't like, okay, let me just put some salt on a piece of salmon and be sad, right? It was delicious and yummy and happy.
Yes, it was. I always make my salmon with lots of herbs and little lemon, pepper, and lots of fresh herbs from the garden. Even though the garden is starting to like not be there anymore. It's getting cold. But
so one thing that we all have something that's on Chag that we need to be aware of, like something that's maybe we know we're prepared, we have a great mindset, we have our intentions, but there is something that we need to keep in mind that has tripped us up before, that we don't want to be surprised by. So I'll give you an example. For me, it's always the last day. There's something about the last day of the end of Chag, like that Matzeh Chag, where I don't know, like I make bad choices. And it happened to me over many years, over many Chagim, like pizza and ice cream, was stuff that I wouldn't have even necessarily wanted, or I ate really moderately over Chag. There's something about this like end. You don't want it to end. You do want it to end. The food fest is over. It's not over. I think there's a reason.
It's funny that you say it, because I know like I had that happen to me. I remember like last Pesach, I was just at my sister's house and we were sitting and we just finished a full bag of chips. I mean, I was so good over the whole Chag, and then like pulled out like all those things that were sitting in the cabinet that nobody touched because we were so good. And then we
Mhm.
just like ate them. That's it. It's the last day. So you're right. There's something about it.
And so the more that we're just like prepare for that and we're aware of, yeah, you were going to say that's you on Pesach too, right? It's me Pesach. And so over the years, I prepare for it in my mind. I know that the last days of Hanukkah, the last days of Pesach, the last day of Sukkot, it's like, you're great. And when we say we're good, right? Let's make sure we're watching our language. We're good, meaning we're eating mindfully and intentionally and being good to ourselves. What the F last day, all of a sudden we're like, we're not going to be good to ourselves anymore. It's like, no, it's there's something emotional there. I don't even know how to describe it. That's the end of these long holidays. And so what can we do to prepare ourselves to make it over that like 6-7 hour period, right? So that we finish
Well,
the
I think just being aware of it, just you bringing it up is a big thing. The
mm-hmm,
awareness.
mm-hmm.
I think that could be very helpful. Like, okay, I know it's the last day and I'm just not going to trip it up.
And
Also maybe prepare to like go somewhere or do something. I mean, it is Simchat Torah or Simchas Torah here. Make sure you just stay and chill and and find friends to talk to. Don't sit by the kiddush.
mm-hmm, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a very, very big deal. And just thinking ahead to be like, okay, so when like, it finally is over in Chag, also what's my attitude to the cleanup? Right? We put so much effort into the cooking and the prep and then the holiday. It's like making sure our attitude to the cleanup is also and putting things back into routine is something positive. Like, this is so beautiful, this Chag. I'm actually looking forward though to my week. I'm looking forward to putting these dishes away and taking down the sukkah and all these things and putting the stuff away, because as sad as it is, I'm also so blessed that I like my routine. I like my work schedule. I'm happy and grateful for other things in my life that are coming back as well. What do you think?
You're mentioning it and I'm thinking to myself, I always thought putting away Pesach was hard, and then I was thinking about it like several years. No, putting away Sukkot is just as hard as putting away Pesach. And then
Absolutely.
everything is out of place. Like just the house is full of people and furniture got moved around. Everything is out of place. It's a big job. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And Karina said, remembering not to reward ourselves with food for eating mindfully. Like, or eating mindfully. So the reward is eating mindfully. The reward isn't, okay, I ate my salmon and broccoli, so now I'm going to reward myself with chocolate. It's chocolate is chocolate. Salmon and broccoli is salmon and broccoli. One can't reward for the other. The reward is feeling amazing. So this is really good. So we talked about focusing on having mindful that there is stress around putting Chag away. And like today, I knew I'm not feeling great. I'm having horrible allergies. I think I don't know, everybody in Israel is suffering right now. There's something in the air. Like everywhere I walked, everyone was talking about like being congested. All my kids are. And yeah, Sabrina also, like it's something is in the air that's not good. Like we need that rain. Like we're ready for like the first rain to like clean it. My husband had a migraine today, everybody. And so this morning I set the intention. I know I'm not going to want to clean up today. I know I'm not going to want to wash the dishes today. I know I'm not going to want to cook. So I'm not doing too much. But as I was starting to feel resentful at the kitchen, like literally before this call, do the exercises we've been doing in our group coaching sessions. That this is what resentment feels like. Okay, this is what resentment feels like. How come the kids aren't helping more? Well, they're sick. Well, I'm not feeling well. I'm doing it. What does that feel like? Okay, that feels like this, like my heart starts racing, my face gets hot, and it's like I could spew, right? Like I could get angry. The second you recognize that, you're like, oh, okay, deep breaths. Like, and it passes without having to react to it when you can become aware of it. So be aware that there are things that cause those old feelings to come up over the end of Chag sometimes. And it could be a momentary thing, right? Then you go back and literally after I didn't lose it, my daughter comes in from outside. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to go shower and then I'm going to wash the floor for Chag. Like, give them a chance, right? Like, it's so much in our head. It's so much the way we're talking to ourselves. And so when you have these moments that we know might be more difficult, be rested, like get some rest, Simchas Torah afternoon, so that you're not going into Motzei Chag, like a zombie,
I'm
and
thinking to myself, a very stressful day is always Hoshana Rabbah,
yeah.
because we make this big meal in the afternoon, and then like I always have company, and Shmini at night, and I've always like, okay, I had to clean up the sukkah and clean up from that meal, and after I cooked it, and I have this another huge meal at night. So this
Mhm.
year I said we're not going out to eat during Chol Hamoed. We're saving that trip to Hoshana Rabbah. We're gonna go out to a restaurant, and I already know what I'm ordering. I have that in my mind. That's gonna be my dish,
Yes.
the Caesar salad without with the chicken and without the bread things. And I have I know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna come home to a clean house. Just worry about that one meal and not worry about these two huge meals and getting everything ready.
I mean, and Sabrina, I know you're with the baby, so you're writing in the chat. Do you want to talk also, or you don't have to? You can unmute if you want, or you can totally up to you. Okay, we'll let you figure that out. Okay, another thing we want to bring up, you're just talking about Hoshana Rabbah. You have to remember in Simchas Torah and Hoshana Rabbah, you would love to share maybe next time, no problem. Okay, when you can, feel free. If you have, we have like 3 and 4 minutes left, and then we're gonna finish. So, because I just want to do a quick check-in pep talk and just be available. And the last thing is just to remember when you're pacing your meals. Remember Hoshana Rabbah, Simchas Torah. Sometimes it takes everybody a much longer to get back from shul, right? It's so important to pace yourself. Oh, did I eat breakfast? If we're not eating lunch or we're eating dinner much later at night, do I want to eat earlier, or serve something lighter, or put the food out, a little bit earlier? Take something, pace yourself. This holiday, I have not been eating earlier. Usually in the summer, I will eat 5, 6 p.m., even if we're having Shabbos dinner at 8, and I'll have a small bowl of soup and I'll have something later with everybody, but not so much. Really, we've been getting to brunch so late and then lunch so late. Like today I had brunch. I'm not even getting to lunch. Maybe I'll have a protein something shake before with some vegetables if I feel at all hungry getting close to dinner. But otherwise, I'm going to wait for dinner tonight, and I'm going to have some soup, and I'm going to keep it easy. And just remember that pace yourself also comes to the huge meals, and remembering that if there's something that you love, there's another 152 Shabboses to enjoy it at. It doesn't have to be enjoyed this time. If there's a cake from a bakery that you love, it doesn't have to be enjoyed today. And just relax into it a little bit and keep awareness about normal pitfalls. And then when that feelings come up in your body, look, I did this with my daughter even when she had a nightmare last night. She's like, but I don't feel where it is in my body. It's a practice. It took me, I think, a long time to start to feel where the tension is in my body. Because we talk about feelings like I feel stressed, I feel angry. Those are thoughts. They aren't feelings. Feelings are tight, loose, throbbing, itchy, tingling, pressure. Those are feelings. We interpret our feelings as thoughts and say, that's stress. But really, when we go into our body, we can recognize that a lot of things come in there. Absolutely, Sabrina. It takes that maturity to find that mind body connection. But it really helped my daughter, because when she started to, she's like, my head hurts. I'm like, well, it's so interesting. There's so many different kinds of hurt. Is it throbbing? Is it stabbing? And I had to walk her through different words. Is it pushing out like your head is going to explode, or like pressure's coming in your head? Right. And she's like, oh, so it was very interesting, but it totally took her mind off worrying about what was going to give her a nightmare. And so it's their practice. And if we were never trained in this as children, I know I wasn't. I spent my whole life cutting off my body from my brain. Right? As women, like, you're uncomfortable from your period, comfortable from all kinds of things. And instead, we don't want to think about it. We don't want to feel it because we're too busy. And so getting into our body is like really a sign of mindfulness and healing your relationship with food and your body. That's my end of my like kind of rant for today. Any last question? Anybody want coaching on any last thing? And then we're going to sign off. And I hope we'll be able to do this more often, kind of like a quick last minute Erev Chag, Erev Shabbos bonus, like little taste.
Yeah, this was very good. Thank you.
Okay. So it's like a little mini implementation group session. I'm going to send out the recording in the group for anybody to watch it. And if you want to download it, you can. You'll have a week before it deletes. Have a Chag Sameach, Simchat Torah Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks.